Hello everyone! I definitely have to be careful not to upload any games too fast, because like what happened in my previous video, I uploaded the video, everything was cool, and when I started watching the coverage of the World Blitz Championship, I saw that the result has in fact changed. The arbiter's decision was overruled and Carlsen in fact won that game against Inner Kiev. So this game here, it's a game from round 3. Carlsen is playing against Ukrainian Grandmaster Yuriy Kryvoruchko, a very strong player. His blitz rating is somewhere around 2740, and he was the 2013 Ukrainian champion. So a very strong player, and this game really shows how blitz can be merciless. At one point, Kryvoruchko doesn't really find which way to go, and he could have actually saved the game, but Blitz, like I said, is a merciless time control. I will let you find what Yuriy here missed in the game. So Carlsen has the white pieces, and this time he goes for d4. We have knight to f6, bishop to f4, e6, e3, and d5. Knight to f3, c5 now, c3, knight to c6, and knight b to d2. Bishop to e7, bishop to d3 by Carlsen, and knight to h5. Carlsen plays bishop to e5, we have f6, kicking the bishop back, bishop g3, and now g6. Probably to give this knight on h5 some additional protection, as the queen from d1 is x-raying it. Queen to e2 by Carlsen, and bishop to d7. D captures on c5, we have bishop captures on c5, and e4 now by Carlsen. Knight captures on g3, and we have h captures on g3. And this is a pretty, it's a pretty important decision. Do you want to trade this knight for this bishop? This is a very strong bishop, and while it's a very strong bishop, also it gives additional protection to f2 pawn, but while capturing it, you give Carlsen the open h file, so it's a very hard decision to make in blitz. D captures on e4 by Kryvoruchko, bishop captures, and we have king to f7. Carlsen castles queenside, and we have queen to c7 now. Knight to c4, rook to d8, and queen to d2, pressuring that bishop on d7, also eyeing the h6 square. So Kryvoruchko goes bishop to c8, opens up an attack on Carlsen's queen, and we have queen to h6. Rook captures, and king to g8. And this king to g8, it seems like a weird move, but you really don't have a lot of options here. You can't develop this rook because queen captures on h7. So Kryvoruchko probably played king to g8 with plans of going queen to g7 at some point. Carlsen plays g4, and we have bishop captures on f2. Here, queen to g7, it could be an idea, but after queen to h2, that queen, rook, and king are really just clustered in there. G5 is coming either way, so not the best position for black. Sorry. So after g4, bishop captures on f2 was played. Yuriy grabs a pawn, and we have bishop captures on c6. Now Carlsen eliminates the defender of the e5 square. B captures on c6, and now g5. The idea, of course, is Carlsen wants to capture pawn on f6 and threaten some ideas on g7. And here, this is definitely the critical moment in the game. The problem with f5 is that it immediately creates a bad position for black. After f5, knight comes to e5, and it's really hard to find a move for black here. You can't really move the queen, otherwise you get rook to d8, and there's really no move to play here for black. You have to play bishop to c5, so you can move the queen, and after rook comes to d8, so you can defend with bishop to f8, but even this isn't enough. Simply knight captures on g6, h captures, queen captures with check. After queen blocks, rook to d8, check, bishop goes to f8, and now knight to e5. Queen captures, knight captures, and now your bishop is attacked on c8. This bishop on f8 is attacked twice by the rook and the knight. Also the rook on h8 is attacked, so white is easily winning this game. But after g5, Yuriy didn't go for this. Yuriy played queen to f4 check. King to b1 was played, and now queen captures, knight on c4. Here Carlsen played G captures on f6, and in this position Yuriy Kryvoruchko resigned the game, as there is no defense against queen to g7 checkmate. You do have this queen to e4 check, but after king to a1 there's really nothing to play here. You can't even escape with the king. If king f7, simply queen g7 check, king e8, and queen to e7, this is checkmate. But there is this one move after g5 that Carlsen played. One move actually saves the game for Kryvoruchko, and I will let you pause the video if you would like, and try and find this move. It's quite a sneaky move, but you know, I really enjoyed it. So there, I gave you some time to consider. Will you pause? For those of you who have found the move, congratulations. It's not a too obvious move to find, but it shouldn't be too hard. The move Kryvoruchko missed here is actually bishop to g3. After bishop to g3, you don't really have the option of playing g captures on f6 because of bishop to f4 check. This checks the king, also forks the queen, so Carlsen loses the queen and the game. So probably after bishop to g3, you can't really make any progress as white unless you play king to b1. After king to b1, black can now play f5, and now all is well. d5 square is again protected by the bishop and the queen, and there isn't an easy way for white to make any progress here. Black is perfectly fine in this position. But Kryvoruchko missed this. He went into the variation I showed, and after g captures on f6, he resigned the game. So a very nice win by Carlsen, and a very nice recovery after that unfortunate inner Kiev gambit in round 1. I just wanted to say it's not that I'm only covering Carlsen's games because I want to only cover Carlsen games. It's just that it's the Blitz, and the official coverage only pretty much covers Carlsen's games. I mean, the moves really go quickly, and they couldn't really shift the boards. You know, no one would understand what's going on either of the boards. So if any of you know of any great game played in Blitz, please do share in the comments. Use hashtag suggestion. I will check all the comments, and I will check the game that you suggest. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this game. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon. Probably with another video from the World Blitz Championship. See you soon.